Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching, this is a very special episode of Scriptless Sunday. Not only because we're talking about a serious subject that is going to be like, kind of not funny, and these are normally meant to be a little bit humorous, but I brought on a special guest to join me. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi.
All right. Normally when I start these videos, it's just like, what the heck is going on with this thing? I've been thinking about this. Whatever I've been thinking about for the week, that's what I talk about. I'm actually going to enhance you a little bit here. Look at that. Beautiful. That's his house.
Wow.
You
Yeah, that's
see
my
it?
house. He was in my house.
Yeah, like I'm showing
I just
the
got
house.
it. I just got it recently. I'm really proud of this house.
Oh. Um
I only got it for like
wait,
70K down, like down, and it was pretty good. Pretty good, like nice
did you say
appliances.
down? Did you just
Good.
say down?
Yeah.
I have bad news.
What do you mean?
It's not down.
Uh, what are you talking about, man? It's right here.
It's it's Why did you slow? Why did you turn around so slowly? We're we're witnessing a man at his lowest point. No, no, I can't. I can't. I can't. This is meant to be serious. This is meant to be serious. I also told you you were allowed. I encouraged him to make
That's true. That's true.
that very joke.
A specific bit. He specifically said that. Do that bit.
I'm sure most people watching this video, because I'm going to thumbnail it and call it something of this sort, about this shooting that happened in Minneapolis. You don't know about this at this point, correct?
Nothing. Nada.
Okay. The reason I'm bringing you on for this video is because I am very bothered by politics right now. Right now, politics to me feels like pure reactivity. There is no other layer. There is no other facet at the moment. It is almost purely reactivity in the United States. I don't know about elsewhere. It could be different, but in my experience, it is just dangerously reactive. And I think that this tragedy is a perfect example of that, because both sides just reacted, and I feel like there was very little thought that went into it. So in an effort to be different, and in an effort to be more honest with how I approach this, I am literally going to have a dialogue on camera. A lot of people say we need more dialogues in politics, but we're gonna be doing that in this video, okay? So I'm hoping that is chill with you, and I briefed him beforehand, but he was down.
Yeah.
He's kind of a down kind of
I'm
guy.
100% down.
He's so down his house is up. There's no more room for down in his facility.
I've been called. Yeah, I've been referred to as that before.
As Big Down?
Big da-
Yo, that's my homie Big Down. Okay, in an effort to move on, I think I explained that well enough. I want to have a dialogue. Yeah. I want to talk to somebody actually to do the talking, and we're going to see what we think. And maybe he'll have a different opinion than me, because I already have an opinion on this, and we're going to find out. So, all right. So this is a video from the New York Times that I appreciate. It seems to make things fairly clear, but we're just going to watch it. Not the whole thing. There's a lot of it we're not going to watch, but just the main video. So let's see. And just let me know if you can hear it.
On Wednesday, in Minneapolis, a federal agent fatally shot a motorist, 37-year-old Renee Good. Trump administration officials...
Okay, before we get to that, just right off vibes alone, what are you feeling the reaction was to this video at large? What are you thinking? These are ICE agents. That's a person in a car seemingly blocking the road. What are you feeling
Minneapolis, a federal...
about this video?
Right. At least immediately for me, what I'm thinking is either this is someone who's trying to run from ICE, or this is someone who's trying to impede ice. Otherwise, they wouldn't be reacting this way.
Right.
One way or the other, it does not seem like it really doesn't seem like they're using lethal force. Like, that, like if you look at the way that the car is driving away, they're pretty clearly not trying to ram the other guy. Like, look at the direction the wheel is
Yeah. So if
by that point.
Agent
But like,
fatally
let it
shot.
play a little bit. Like, look, see, like
I go frame by frame analysis here, the wheel is
so if you go right, like
all the way
you
back
can, you
here.
can all the way back there. The wheel's starting to turn. Right, like they're not trying to ram the dude. They're trying to get past him, which you can see in the footage. So it's
Yeah.
I think most likely the guy thought it was trying to ram them.
Yes.
Like he thought they were trying to hit him with his car, with their car, and I think that's the like probably what prompted him to use that kind of force.
Okay.
Which, just immediately.
Yes. Okay. So I think we had pretty much the same assessment, right? And I think there's the key to your assessment that I had when I watched this was that, like, he probably believed that she was. The woman's name is Renee Good. His name is Jonathan Ross. Just to be clear, these people
Right.
are in the public eye now. I'm not doxing anybody.
Right.
She pretty clearly, I think, was not trying to hit him, right?
Right.
I don't know exactly how car transmission works. I have a vague idea, but like when the wheel turns, that equals where the actual steering wheel is turning, right?
Oh, yeah, and like for there to be like a notable visible cant in the wheel, um, means that the steering wheel has already moved a decent amount prior to it being super visible on that resolution of video that the wheel is turning, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I think that Renee seemed to have been attempting to flee, not fight, and
Yes.
it seems like Jonathan took it as, to give him the benefit of the doubt, interpreted it as a threat of Renee attempting to ram him.
Yes. I think that so far we totally agree, which is nice. I mean, maybe more entertaining if we were like lashing out at each other right now.
True.
That might do
True.
better on the internet, but like
Real.
we're talking about it at least.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm gonna add some context in as somebody who knows. I can't find a video of this, but it's true. You can fact check me in the comments below. Prior to any of this stuff happening, Renee was positioned on the road, blocking the road, and was honking and disrupting. She was a disruptor. Okay, and that is where we find ourselves in this video. She has been disrupting for a few minutes, I think, and then the ICE agents pull up. There's like a whole caravan of ICE agents just going through Minneapolis, I guess. I don't know how they run their business, but it seems like that's what they do. And then they pull up, and then she's in her car, and then they walk up to her, and, the thing happens.
Right.
Some people are seeing this video that I don't have, but it is true, where I thought this was going to be it, where she is honking and disrupting in the road and saying, oh, she had it coming. I have my opinion on that. How would you respond to that?
People who argue that someone had it coming to be shot because they were blocking traffic and honking their horn have a catastrophic conception of what justice is.
I agree. I think that I have another video that I haven't pulled up on accident here. Oh, here it is. Okay.
The clip is going viral if you want to check. Look. Who does this? Really, it's crazy.
That's her honking.
Gotcha.
Disrupting.
Who's laying on the horn? The woman that got shot. No concept of consequences? Yeah, exactly. And this is the problem, is that whenever you allow people to do stuff like this and you never have any consequences that are imposed on them, what happens is that they think that they're totally immune from consequences. Like, if they had arrested her the moment that she was right there, I think that she probably wouldn't have gone to run anybody over. Then she wouldn't have gotten shot either. Like, you have to keep in mind, like, what their goal is. Their goal is to disrupt ICE. So they're going to do the most that they possibly can to achieve that goal. Not facing the consequence for blocking traffic like this led her to thinking that she could get away with driving through the officer. Like, look at this. See, she's blocking the road, the whole...
Okay. Are you kind of getting the vibe that's happening?
Yeah, very cool vibe.
It's not a chill vibe. I'm not gonna lie. These clips from Asmongold are what bother me, because if you go to the comment section, no amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot. Both political sides of the spectrum have chosen a quote for this tragedy. Okay, the political right has chosen this Mark Twain quote, and then the political left has chosen a quote by George Orwell. This has been posted online everywhere in response to this. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. Yeah, this is the opposing quote, and I think it highlights like what has happened in this controversy. Both sides have reactively accepted a position without even trying to hear the other side. That's been happening in politics for a while, and now it's more blatant than ever, because I think we have something that's fairly obviously a irresponsible ICE agent shoots somebody, perhaps believing he was going to get hit. This is not a situation where the President of the United States comes out and says, oh, it was this, before there's even been like an investigation done. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what's happened is, in my opinion, because of rhetoric that Trump pushes, now both sides are negatively affected, in that we're both just saying, this is what happened, when there hasn't even been like an official investigation done. Now, you can say what you want, like Kash Patel's FBI is not even going to do anything about it. That's fine. That could be true. But I think it's important to remember that somebody died. That sucks. And we should try to figure out what is actually true. Oh, I doxed myself. I disliked this video. I swear I'm not politically partisan right now. I just disliked it reflexively. And that's the problem. We've come full circle in a moment, okay? Reflexively reacting to things is the problem. Sorry, I'm yapping. I know you're my valued guest. I'm showing you Asmongold clips. Like, what greater disservice could I do to you at this point?
Yeah, no, I mean, well, that's the thing, is that the political system as of now is really functioning in terms of just kind of like polarized disagreements and reactivity. However you want to look at that, there's a lot of rhetoric that essentially goes to pin blame on the other side, and then same thing. Like, it's just very clear. It's very clear at this point in the way that politicians talk, the way that the media is being run, the way that our administration is being run, that they're not even trying to kind of hide falsehoods. Like it's getting to the point where it's like they're just doing things and they don't even really need to justify them, because why do they need to? Yeah, let's just go and kidnap a dictator so we can put oil companies in the country.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's far less. Like, I think that corrupt things have been happening in government for a long time, to various degrees. Right. You know what I mean? We find evidence of this like cropping up.
Government has been happening.
Yeah, so, that's the best, most succinct way of putting it. Government has just been happening. But it's happening in a way that is more obvious than ever before, and people are just eating it up. They're joining in. It's like a group activity. Show and tell. We're playing with government right now. Like, nobody even is trying to not... Because realistically, a reasonable president in this situation would have said, that's horrible that happened. Let's wait and see what the court decides. You know what I mean? Like, let's wait and see what the investigation brings to us. But instead, the president, as one of the first people to respond to this, in a very similar way to the Charlie Kirk situation, responded instantly and was like, it was this. And it's I don't care what side you're on, that's just not good. That's not good politics, right? There's ideal politics.
Let there be conclusion.
Like, here it is, just like, here's your answer. It's literally marching orders beamed down into people's heads. And I don't want to be too libtard here, so I will say it happens on both sides. I just feel like it's happening a little more on one side right now. Maybe because they're in power at the moment, and as soon as it flips, but I just want to be realistic and say, at the very least, it's strange and upsetting that it's usual to see people react this way to a certain extent. People get emotional, but it's strange and upsetting to see the president do the same thing and egg it on. That feels wrong. You know what I mean? There's a few more things I want to talk about here that I just want your thoughts on, because we're trying to have a discourse. This video right here is a video that has been pointed to and was, I believe, I'll fact check this, played in the Oval Office by Trump to say what happened. It purportedly shows the officer getting hit by the car, which is meant to justify him shooting the person, which once again we're going to get into in just a second. I'm just going to have you take a look-see here and see.
Officer. President Trump and others said the federal agent was hit by the SUV, often pointing to another video filmed from a different angle.
Now, did you catch that?
I did not.
Did you, like, is it too blurry to see via Discord stream?
It's slightly blurry.
Because it's too blurry to see through my YouTube feed as well, which I have right in front of me. And that is my point with this video. I'm going to make my point first this time instead of asking you, because I'm a good host. This video is, how you say, Nintendo DSi quality footage. It's bad. And this is what's been played.
It's too much of a compliment.
Well, it's okay. Let's be real. Let's not be partisan hacks. It's not the worst quality ever, but it is not as good as the other one we have, which seems to show him not getting hit. I don't want to belabor this point, because I don't think that him getting hit or not decides whether or not he should shoot somebody. That we'll get into that in a second. I think there's certain things that make it strange, but just I want to know your opinion. What do you think, not only about this footage, but about the claim that him getting hit means he should be able to shoot the person in the car?
Yeah, so I mean, by technicality, if someone's threatening to hit you with their car, that is by technicality a reasonable threat on your life. Mm-hmm. Like, if someone's actually trying to run you over with their car, that can just straight up kill you if you go under the car.
Right.
So
yeah, go ahead.
So I mean, assuming that's a valid thing, that's like that whole. I mean, don't quote me on this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe if you thought that someone was attempting to run you over with their vehicle, and the only way to stop them was to incapacitate them somehow, maybe that being shooting them or otherwise, I'm not sure how that would be ruled in a self-defense case, but I could imagine, based off the criteria of it being a threat to their life, that it could be ruled favorably by technicality, if that were the case, if they were truly trying to run them over and the defender truly thought that.
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, I think at that point it really comes down to, were they trying to run them over or not?
Right. And I think
did they truly think they were going to be run over?
that's the key, I think, because first of all, I think we have very solid evidence that she was not trying to run him over. She also, I will say,
I'm not mad at you.
she says, "I'm not mad at you, dude," right there, which seems to indicate that she's, not mad at him. She also is a disruptor, though, to be fair. But anyway, he walks around the car and very casually walks in front of the car here in a second, as we know, because this, in mere moments, he'll be shooting her. Right about there. Crazy freeze frame. It's, in my opinion, fairly clear based on what she's saying and the turning of the wheels. Tell me if you agree. Prior to her getting shot, the way the wheels turn, you can see them turn pretty far to the right. And the fact that after she's shot, her car goes straight in the opposite direction of the officer and hits another car. All of those reasons make me say, I'm confident she was not trying to run him over, right? Would you agree with that?
It really seems, so I will say, from that video, from the officer's perspective, the fact that she backed the car up and then turned the wheel from the far left towards the front, it really does, it makes it look, from his perspective, if I saw that happening in that circumstance, I'd be concerned that she'd try to ram me, just circumstantially.
Would you ever say that she is a domestic terrorist? Let me just
Sorry.
Let me just pull something up. I think it's in this video.
You asked about a shooting that we just had in Minneapolis,
Okay,
Minnesota.
check this out.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
So, how do you assess her assessment?
That's a really interesting interpretation.
I agree.
So, like when I was saying earlier, it really looked from his perspective. From his perspective, it really looked from the off, like straight on at the car, backing up and turning the wheel technically toward him from the left. We see from the other perspective that she continued to turn it towards the right to drive away. Mm-hmm. But from his perspective, in that split second thing, it's like, oh, it's like she's getting distance right there. That I could see that, especially if you're like, you're a member of Homeland Security, you're a member of ICE, and you're like out, in tactical gear, and you're trying to do stuff, and this person's been disrupting, and then they pull that. I could understand why. I understand why they would interpret it that way from that perspective. However, from the other footage we have, and also from the rest of the video, we can see that it looks like she was trying to turn past him and drive away.
Yes.
Just objectively.
Right. And I mean, what I've highlighted about this in my mind is the fact that it's once again it's a high-ranking political official judging and coming to a conclusion on something, which is fairly clearly kind of ambiguous, like not clear-cut. In fact, it's a pretty well-structured moral dilemma situation, in my opinion. Like he could genuinely have believed that he was about to get rammed. And you could argue that, why was he standing in front of the car? Why would he shoot at the driver when that car is coming towards him? Because that wouldn't stop the car. And you can argue both ways. You could say she backed up and she was from. You can go into it for a while. I don't need to go into all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's what it clearly isn't is clear, in my opinion.
Right.
And high-ranking political officials on, I think, both sides. I know both sides are judging this to be sort of set in stone. And
Right.
I've used this word before, but I belabored that point. It just bothers me. Like, you can't. That's not how this is supposed to work. I think. Like, aren't we supposed to, like, investigate this first? At least investigate it. But it's just not. That doesn't seem to be what's happening, and that bothers me quite a bit. One of the most important parts of this, in my opinion, was I thought it would be important to cover not only what happened, but something Christy Nome talked about was, like, he did what he was trained to do. And I'm thinking, what was he trained to do actually? Like, what is the procedure in a situation like this? I feel like those, what actually happened and the training are the two most important parts of how we judge this. And I think based on the video, it's pretty clear that she was trying to get away, and he interpreted that as a threat, and so he shot, right? But he's also a veteran, and he's been working with ICE for quite a while, and he should be well-trained. He should be exemplifying a well-trained, veteran of the program. And so I did some looking into what exactly the policy is in situations like this, and without reading all of it, primarily what I read was you really are only shooting at a car if there's imminent threat of death, right? And beyond that, you're not really shooting at a car, right? But that could be, you could say that that's what's happening here, right? And that highlights the fact that it's not clear. We need to have a judge and a jury interpret this procedure and interpret and say if the officer was following it, right? Am I off the mark at all, do you think? Like, we can go through these different policies.
Yeah, but also based off the policies here, just like right there, are officers expected to move out of the way? Yes, Justice Department policy says deadly force is allowed only when no reasonable alternative exists, including stepping out of the vehicle's path. And it's pretty clear that he was able to step out of the vehicle's path. Based off of the footage, he was able, after he shot, he kind of fell out of the way. Which he would have been able to get out of the way much more efficiently, but is jumping out of the way. And a car's wheels only have so much change in the arc of its path that it can make in a split second. You can get out of its way. It's not like she's gonna go and then she's gonna back up again and try to get you.
No, I think you're
right.
And
at that point, if you go forward and it's clear that she's trying to actually at that point it's okay, this person's gonna continuously try to hit us with their car. That's a very different situation, I feel, than again, just either way, out of the practicality or technicality, another reasonable alternative existed. He could have just stepped out of the vehicle's path,
and he essentially did, because as far as the footage shows, it's unfortunately obscured by the other officer. As far as the footage shows, he wasn't hit, at least in any significant way. It's hard to tell. He kind of does a little lurching movement there. But with the most clear footage we have, it doesn't...
He's not... You can tell based off of his stance, the closest thing to the car is his gun.
Yes. So if I can do the frame by frame here, for a real high quality show, you can go. Plus, you got to think about.
He's pretty far away. Remember how far the car away was in the footage beforehand from his perspective?
Yeah, I can do that.
It's a solid. Yeah, go back and then see it from that perspective. So let's see how far away he is from it. Right.
She backs up a little bit there. It does happen fast. To give credit where it's due, it happens very fast. He walks around front, probably to go back to the other side, and then she's turning, and I assume his eyes are more all-encompassing than the camera, and I assume he can see that she's turning the wheel, right?
Right, because he can see that she's turning the wheel towards him.
At the very least towards him, or at the very least she's turning the wheel that direction, and that could include him.
She's turning the wheels in that direction, and it's either him, or by technicality, in any kind of range of the wheel in the first place, he's pretty close. It seems like he's maybe within 5 feet.
Right.
of the car.
Yeah, pretty much, I think.
So like let's assume he's like within 5 feet, and go back to the other footage, right?
Okay. Right about here.
Right. So at the angle at which the car, so like look at.
He seems like about 5 feet away. You can see his.
Okay, so he's about 5. He's about 5 feet. So the car goes forward a bit. Maybe we can see his feet step out of the way.
Yes. Try to go right about there.
So actually, if you look at it, you see like the ice skid on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of go. It actually seems like he's pretty close to that front wheel.
Yes. It does look like that from this.
From this footage, it looks like he did step out of the way. It actually does look like, even though she is clearly trying to, flee.
Yeah.
It does look like if he didn't step out of the way, he probably would have been hit.
I believe that's true. I believe that he did step out of the way, though. At least the vast majority of his body was out of the way. And I think the important part to highlight, and I think you're correct, that he was very close and definitely had reason to be afraid. But the important part to highlight is, when did he draw his gun?
Right. Look at how early he drew his gun.
Gun is out, gun is out, gun is out.
He did not. So yeah, it's like the car starts to move. So
Keep going.
Yeah, so the car is moving back, starts to move forward. The gun's already out.
So as soon as the brake light goes off, it starts to move forward, right? She's shifting gears.
Like as soon as the guy, that gun is out as
boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely was ready to go. Like, even though he had a camera in his hand.
His instinct is not to move out of the way. It is to pull his firearm.
And to fire 3 shots, I will say, which is, I've read in some places, is
excessive.
A bit much. Especially when I think he hit the first one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because
and 2 of those shots are not through the front. The first shot, this shot that we see here,
right,
is
the first shot through the window, and then 2 through the side window.
He's already on the side of the car by the time he fires his first shot. Like pretty clearly on the side of the car. Right? He's already out of the way. Right. Pretty much, right? I just want to make sure I'm being objective about this. Like, would you say that?
So at this point, his feet look very close to the same skid that the front wheel is on. I believe that he is currently on the side of the car at this angle. Right.
And I don't know. We're getting into the minutia, which is great. And I want to make sure we don't, make an hour-long thing here.
Right.
But I guess, like, not touching the policy too much, because, the policy boils down to, it's always going to be vague to a certain extent. They can make it as clear as possible, but, like, you can't calculate for every single possible scenario. So they say if there's imminent, like, danger of death, you can use your firearm on a car, right? But there's, like, other things that are recommended to happen prior to that. And I think this is a reliable source. It's not even like a libtard paper. This is like a fairly...
Right.
It's not even... I wouldn't even call it middle of the road. I don't know. It depends on who you ask. But just reading around, because I had an AP source as well for this that said essentially the same stuff as this article when it comes to riskiest form. It's almost verbatim, which seems like they might be getting it from the same place. Like, you fire on a vehicle when there's imminent threat of death, basically. And you should try to get out of the way and not make death happen, if at all possible. Because generally speaking, a car is safer when it's controlled. When it's just flying like it did in the video and goes and hits another car.
Yeah, I was going to say, it just careens and then hits a car.
Yeah, if other footage shows it better than this, but, like, her car goes off, and then this is the main, the only bullet hole through the front. If anybody is still watching at this point in the video, check out New York Times. They did a pretty comprehensive look at this. Another big thing is that they didn't immediately act after it happened, this is definitely not correct. Like, I can't.
At the same time, several agents, including the agent who opened fire, get in their vehicles and drive off, apparently altering the active crime scene.
So they just leave,
Oh.
which is not a good look for anybody.
No, that's really not.
Like, to be fair to Jonathan Ross, the man who did it, he did say, call 911 after, like, a few minutes after it happened, because there was a period of time where they just sort of stood around for a bit
to provide emergency medical care.
They didn't rush,
Eventually,
is what
the
he
agent
just
who
said.
shot the motorist approaches the vehicle.
And then he goes and he says, call 911. But, like, at the end here, it shows that they, including Jonathan, get in this
Several agents,
Chevy
including the
Tahoe
agent who
and
opened
just
fire, get
cruise
in their
off like a
vehicles
diva.
and
Like,
drive off,
there's no,
apparently altering the act.
there was no waiting for people to get there. As far as I'm aware, they just left, which is not. This is a bad look. It's a bad look. That's all I can say about it. There's immediate risk of serious death or injury. Yeah. Never approach a vehicle from the front. This is exactly what the officer was doing. Was he was walking around the car and was in front of the car by his own volition. Like, if you make the argument that, oh, she was a disruptor, they had reason to be antsy and maybe that's why he pulled his gun so quick, you have to ask, why was he even walking around the car like that, so with so much leisure in his step? You know, like, it doesn't seem to track in my mind. I think this is a nice brief look at it. I think, how would you, and this is another good article I found. I don't know if the Trace is a trustable source, but I looked into the author a little bit and it seemed fine. But just touching on the video and a brief look at the policy, how would you assess this situation? Perhaps I've shown it in a way that's biased. I know I have, but just based on the video alone, even, like, how would you assess this?
So I think that, one, it's clear from ICE policy and training and best practices that the officer probably shouldn't have been in front of the car in the first place. And that, two, his first thought should not have been to shoot.
Right.
Because, per the DHS statement, or per the statement that you pulled up earlier regarding ICE training, they're trained that shooting at someone shooting at the driver of a car will not stop the car from driving your direction, right?
Right.
So he, one, apparently did something that is not in accordance with the principles of the training, and two, did something which is kind of objectively dangerous. It puts a car, in a position which is not controlled in a residential neighborhood. And three, did not attempt to get out of the car's line of sight, line of driving, prior to starting to take the shots. Right? It's clear that whatever muscle memory was happening there was not the right muscle memory to be happening, and the only reason why it was happening in the first place is because he wasn't following proper procedure surrounding the car. He was directly in front of the car.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of zoom in from there to the video. From his perspective, he's relatively close to the front of the car, right?
Yeah.
You could understand why he'd be concerned about being hit by the car. You can understand that. That's an understandable thing. Like, no one's arguing that it's like this guy, it's like this guy could never be hit by that car. It doesn't make any sense that he'd be hit by the car.
Right.
No, like, he's right in front of it, and you can see her turning the wheel and taking it out of park might be antsy. That makes sense. Nonetheless, he did not follow procedure, and he did shoot 3 times. I mean, and we can see from this video that obviously she is turning the wheel towards him, but then past him as she's driving. And he is relatively close, but not close to the degree at which she wouldn't have been able to if she was, able to, it's clear that she's trying to turn right here.
Yeah.
and he gets
Especially
out of the
based
way.
on like where her car ends up going. It's just
Oh yeah, I mean it's like that's clearly the direction the wheel was going.
that's
you
where
know?
she aligned her steering wheel. That's where she's trying to go.
Yeah, the car went where she was trying to go. And like, you can make an argument like, oh well, they shot her and she spasmed or something. But like, that's not going to make a massive difference in terms of the like grand position of the steering wheel. Um, so I think overall, the officer wasn't following procedure in the initial circumstance he found himself in, nor in the way that he carried himself. And the muscle memory that kicked in when he saw the car begin to accelerate, as threatening as it may have seemed, was not the right muscle memory.
Yeah. I mean,
That's my read.
it's I think I agree largely. I don't know. There's nothing I disagree with there. I like that. I like that we talked about it. You know what I mean? It's such a cringe. Just I don't have a better word to describe it. It's just it's a cringe thing to do, to say, not to do actually. It's based to do, but to talk about like we need to have a dialogue. I already talked about this, but it
Right.
just feels like oversaid at this point. But nobody's doing it. You know what I mean? And I've chosen my friend here to talk to about it, so I'm playing on easy mode. But like, at least we just looked at the footage and said, let's talk about it. And honestly, his take and what we've agreed on here at the end, where there's reasonable fear on his part, but she definitely wasn't trying to hit him. That's one of the most nuanced takes I've seen on all of the internet. And I use like the darkest, most disturbed parts of the internet, like threads, for instance. Who uses that? I use it.
Dark, evil, fucked up part of the internet.
And it's like, nobody has a nuanced take on this. I haven't seen anybody have a nuanced take. It's either it's Jimmy Kimmel crying on stage. I don't know if he cried. I didn't watch it, to be fair. It was I'm not watching.
He really
that.
likes to. It's one of his favorite things to do. Jimmy Kimmel is he'll go up and he'll kind of look at the camera as long as he can, like without blinking, and then he'll just kind of burst into tears.
Yeah. Just
It's one of his favorite things, actually. That's it. Like, so that actually, fun fact, that actually happens every show before they roll like the intro scene,
it's a
and that's why he
traditional thing.
always. That's why you get like if you look in his eyes, they always seem so like dry.
Yeah, he's not like doing lines behind the scenes. He's actually just crying.
No, he's like crying so hard that he doesn't have any tears left before every scene. So there's no emotions. There's no emotions left, and that's why he's so like.
You don't understand it, David. When the tears go down, the ratings go up, and those ratings are low, so they need the tears to go down.
Listen, man, we need the tears.
But no, yeah. Regardless if it's Jimmy Kimmel crying on stage or Asmongold saying "Rip Bozo," which is a quote, by the way. He said that about this "Rip Bozo," which I just found like. I have so many words for Asmongold. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, you're the archetypical like virgin gamer, and you're out here talking about this stuff. I don't know. I don't want to have little Asmongoldies in my chat.
My chud political commentator.
That's my chud. That's him up there.
That's my chud. That's
like,
him.
I don't want to wake up from a dream one day in like 10 years and see Asmongold behind this, giving the freaking inaugural address. I don't want it. Not for.
Dude, that would be.
There's so many reasons I don't want that.
Crazy. That would be crazy, dude. That would be wild.
Like that's reason to start a revolution.
Imagine a world where like Asmongold and Hassan are like running against each other.
Dude, imagine a world where it's like pre-1800 rules, and then Hassan is vice president because he gets the second most like votes, and then Asmongold is president.
Imagine a world where it's like 1500s like Eastern Europe rules, where it's like basically it's like one of them. So it's like one of them is like. So they're both like nobles, right? And they're both like have fiefdoms.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's like a basically they both have to go to war to like prove their loyalty to the king, and they're both at war, right? And they're both like up kind of in the front lines. They're both knights, right? Like they both have the full armor, they have the full plate because obviously they're royals. They can spend the money for it. They're there for the honor, right? And the people look up to they recognize each other on the battlefield, right? And then they ride up to each other on their stallions, right? And then they decide to have a duel out in the battlefield where no one would know the better. Where if one of them falls, then the other can take their land, their belongings, their fiefdom, right?
Right.
And they can say, so what happens is that they fight to the death, and then at the end of the war they come back, and then they report to the king that one of them fell, but the other tried as hard as they could to keep them from dying bravely, but they did die bravely. But nonetheless, they they defended their honor. And their last words actually is that they wanted the other one to marry their daughter, right? And then the king got like really bored and decided to like put the other one in a catapult,
Right.
like a trebuchet.
Uh-huh.
It
Yeah.
just really didn't pan out. I feel like that kind of sums up the political landscape right now.
Yeah. Bro. Dude, but if Asmongold can get away with saying Rip Bozo, then we can do like 4 little quips. Who's queefing about 4 little quips? Not me.
Who's queefing on these quips? Not me.
Nope. You won't catch me queefing. Sorry, I can't. That can't go on the internet, man. I don't know. It will inevitably.
You can't cut that out.
I'm not gonna, because if anything makes me laugh while I'm editing, I will keep it.
Yeah, that's not great.
I had some mean words for Asmongold. I just don't. I don't know. I used to watch Asmongold. You know what I mean? And it was like relatively entertaining. What's the word? You're drawn in by the fact that like, wow, this guy doesn't take showers. Like, that's interesting. He's such a gamer. He's such a true gamer. He doesn't shower. There's a lot of footage. We have a lot of footage here that I'm gonna have to edit. So I would like to, let's see. We had some fun there at the end though. That's chill. I think we covered most of it. It was, regardless, we got enough footage where I can cut it down to a reasonably appropriate examination of the footage and some opinions. And the point was made, I think, fairly clearly that people jump to conclusions and act reflexively in our political climate, and that sucks, and that's the point. But the whole point of these videos is that they're scriptless, and they are kind of supposed to suck ass a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, that's just true. And I'm so glad you were here to suck ass with me, David.
If I do anything, that's what I do.
This is a serious topic. How could we do this?
How could you? I need a moment.
Go home. Go home.
What do you mean?
It's right there. It's there.
It's back there.
It's back.